Then let's go ahead. Oh, of course. Brothers and sisters, I think everybody is welcome. Today we are here not because we have to come and take money, but how we can make money and how money can come to us. One. Two, we are here to discuss about particularly most African organizations and how we can build ourselves like other communities also. So, and then luckily for us, we have a young brother who is a Pan-Africanist also, and is a member of the Amsterdam community, parliament in the Amsterdam community. So he's going to tell us, give us plans and how to get subsidy and grants from the government. And so I will like to introduce him. His name is Simion Blom. A round of applause, please. He's going to tell us details about himself, and I don't need to tell, he belongs to some other black organizations also, but he's a member of the GroenLinks and other organizations, so he's going to explain to us, and then after, then we can ask questions, and then he too can respond accordingly. And so, Simion Blom, once again, a round of applause. You can come. Yeah, you can sit down, stand. Maybe this brotherly thing.
Okay, maybe in first instance I will stand and afterwards I will
sit down. Then
sit down so I can show you something. So thank you for this welcome.
Yes.
Thank you very much. I first want to say this is not a political manifestation for GroenLinks or whatever, so don't be worried about that. I'm Simion Blom. I am a friend of Mike, and I know some of your faces. I live in Southeast, in the Belmer, and I am a member of the city council for the party of GroenLinks. I was speaking to Mike and I saw Benjamin from Casanova, I think, and we were talking about the support system towards organizations. And I had the idea that not many people know that there are policies from the national government and the local government. And I thought, no, that's not how it should be. So let's call all the people on a Sunday to talk about what is the situation. I will go sit there. And before I start, I have some questions. No, I want to congratulate you all with this month, the Black History Month. Congratulations with that.
Yes.
Very important. How many of you have heard about the decade people of African descent? You? Can I see the hands? Decade people of African descent. Okay, 3 people. The reason why I wanted to come here is because the United Nations declared this decennium 2015-2024 of the decade for people of African descent, and that means that all the member states, they need to do something to empower all people who are African in the sense of economic state, social, culturally, because actually everywhere where you look, in the West, in America, in the Caribbean, in sub-Saharan Africa, there is a lot of things we need to do for our position. And also the Netherlands has to do something about the position of black people in the Netherlands. And since this year, or 2017, 2018, the national government put money in a foundation. And in the first round, I must say I was really shocked about it. In the first round, there was a huge debate, and 8 out of 10 organizations that got money were white organizations. While this money was for our people. So that means that a lot of our organizations, they don't know that there's something like the decade people of African descent. And that is something we have to change. So this is the website. This is the international website. I can give you all the information on another way, but I think that and we also have a Dutch website. The national government said the national government gave money to 2 foundations. One foundation focus on culture and art, and the other foundation is focusing on social projects. And organization can hand in a proposal, and the maximum of the proposal must be maximum 25,000 euros. And the national government gave one organization the right to support organizations if they want in handing in a proposal. And that organization is OCAN, an organization for Caribbean Dutch people. And I must say, when I look at the organization and all the people who are in the system, most of them are Surinamese or Caribbean. And I never see any West African organization in the process. And that is heel erg zonde. So I want you all be also part of that process, because that money is also for you. Because you speak to people, you have people in your network which the government cannot reach. So it's really important that you also have the right to use the money. Spreekt iedereen trouwens Nederlands of moet ik het op Engels houden?
Gewoon Engels.
Okay. So actually that is the reason why I am sitting here. So this is the website, this is the foundation which is focusing on culture. I think something like High Radio, it fits in the foundation for culture. And we also have the foundation which is focusing on but all the information I will hand in all the information to you. Who of you have experience with asking subsidy? Do you get sometimes subsidy from the government? Yes. Nobody? You? And who?
For the house? Organization.
No.
For projects you have that you ask funding?
No.
Never. Okay, that's okay. I know you do, but it's important. It's important for you to use the possibility, because you can do a lot more things than you do now, especially because you can reach a lot of people the city government is not reaching, and so we must invest in that. And besides this decade people of African descent money, we also have money from the local government, which is focusing especially on organizations which work with volunteers. You can find that information on the website of the city of Amsterdam, and the maximum of the money is 5,000 euros. I was talking to Mike, because I think that the way people can use the subsidy, it's the drempel is heel hoog. How do you say that in English?
No.
Very-
The handle
very-
is high.
The barrier is really
Very
high
low.
for volunteers and a small organization to om te voldoen aan al die criteria. So Mike and I, we were talking, and he found someone who lives here in this neighborhood, and she's specialized in asking funding. So we can think about how we can do it, but she can help you in asking the foundation, the funding. Yes. I don't know if there are questions for now. Yes.
Hello, my name is Joe Obi from African Roots Movement. I think the first question goes like, because when we talk of funding, there are so many areas that people need funding.
Yeah.
But what are the criteria that you can be able to attend to before you can be able to,
Yeah.
ask for funding?
There are a lot of criteria,
Yeah.
but I think that the kind of organization you are,
Yeah.
it's especially meant for you, and not for wide elite organization like the Bali, Pakhuis de Zwijger, the Rode Hoed. No, it's for organization like you who work in a Belmer, a black neighborhood, for investing in the emancipation of our people. It's for you. It's meant for you. So there are a lot of criteria. It's maybe too much in detail, but you can find all the information on the website. And if you want, I can sit with you and look all the criteria, and we can think how can we organize it for you to get the money, because it's really important.
Yeah, because why I asked this question is that I was a part of the PCC, the People's Council of Churches.
Yeah.
And the wet hair that came there in one of our meetings and was, talking of these fundings. But sometimes it is easier to talk about, but when you want to get there, to take it, there is a lot of,
I know. Yeah.
hookups, left and right. They will direct you this way, direct you that way. Before you know it, you cannot even be able to attend all their, what do you call it? To be able to, to be able to get the funds.
A lot of barriers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so many.
And on the
things.
way,
Yeah.
your project is
Your
project is gone and being done
They
with
will-
another person.
In fact, they will even frustrate you.
Yeah.
With so many laws, this and
Yeah.
that and that. Go and bring this paper, go and bring that. At the end of the day, you end up not getting
Yeah.
the fund.
Yeah, I really can imagine that. And that is the reason why the national government gave the assignment to an organization, OCAM, to support organizations with handing in the
Projects.
application. That's really the reason. I want to know what kind of organizations are here?
There are different kind of
There are
organizations
different kinds.
here.
Yeah.
But
Radio station.
many of the organizations that are here are cultural, national, and Pan-African organizations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you name a few?
Okay,
For my
we have here African Roots Movement.
Yeah.
We have here
I radio.
iRadio. We have Niger TV. We have Akasanoma.
Yeah.
We have Niger, is a francophone African. We have other national organizations, which are Nigerian organizations. And let me see. Yeah, I think for now, those are the organizations that we have.
And most of you don't work with funding and with subsidy, which is good. But how are you doing that? How do you get the money to do your thing, to organize your
It's
thing?
self-sustaining, self-funding.
Yeah. And what are the biggest? What is the biggest thing you need? What kind of things you need?
Within premises
Premises, exactly.
is number
What
one.
do you mean? Premises?
The
That is
place
the-
to do-
Space.
Okay.
space to do our meeting. Okay, let me start. I have a binary function here. I'm representing two organizations. Here I'm sitting with the African Root Movement. I also belongs to a Nigerian organization. Members are their president. You see, the reason why people approach subsidy discussion, I will tell you the principal driving force for the project behind it. Number one, we look at it as an entrapment. There are many organizations that have access into government subsidy.
Yeah.
By the time they get the subsidy, after 6 months, it defies them. We don't see anybody in the meeting again. You take the money, you use it for yourself, we don't see it. So, personally, in African recruitment, what we decided to have a policy. We don't keep money, we don't keep account. When you need money, we donate among ourselves, we go away. Nobody can say, this chairman has done away with my money. This secretary has eaten my money. Because the reason why all organizations here get dismantled is because immediately they get money from the government, maybe we are not matured enough to manage that kind of funding. I don't know. Because most of them, personally, they have 10 times of that money in their own account.
Okay.
They can buy you the money. But immediately the money belongs to government, it comes freely. Then they don't have accountability for it. Then they started having problems. I don't want to mention names here. Everybody knows it. Few of us who knows it, we know it. So that is why it is not as fashionable. I mean, despite all the bureaucratic bottlenecks, if you are able to sit down and plan, they will give it to you, of course. It's not a problem getting it. But when you get it, are you going to spend it precisely for that purpose with which you apply for it? And do you want to account for every cent you spent on every occasion to the organization? Then you start seeing people raising eyebrow, then the government will intervene, and that is the head of that organization. So we now see it like an entrapment, because we are in the minority, we feel a little bit marginalized. So we say, okay, maybe they are now using that financial way to keep us silent. So for that reason, we decided to distance ourselves from that. Maybe if we are able to address the arms, for instance, African movement, we are politically homeless. So it means we can go against any government project anytime. We can do whatever. I even told Mr. Mike sometimes, when we fight to get a structure, immediately we get it, then they give it to a person and they privatize it. I can name many places here. Look at No Limit. We fought for it, we got it. We only do 2 meetings there. After that, you have to pay. After that, sold. So what are we working for? So as a member of the parliament, I mean, the house, at least you have a decision-making capability. Please put this one into your agenda, what we are actually going through. So why we are here today, we just want you to know some things. Probably you may not, we didn't want to tell you in private, we want to say it here, so that everybody can, we have access to talk to you in private, but we don't want to do that. We say we have to bring it here, so that you will know, and people also will know. The reason why most of us are a little bit receptive when it comes to asking for subsidy, because it divides people.
Okay, that's
Okay, you want to respond? Or?
You said a lot of things. You said a lot of things, and some things I recognize. I recognize. And if this doesn't fit in your policy, don't do it. If everything is going well without this funding and without the subsidy, that's fine. That's fine. But for some organizations, especially organizations, can use the money to get a bit ahead in their policy, and it's a bit sonder when you don't do it while the money is there, and while other organizations go away with the money. While this money is especially meant for areas like development, you know, for uplifting our people. And I recognize what you said, that it's too bureaucratic. So I'm thinking about how can we change that a bit. It's already changed, but I think that when some of you want to do the application, I can sit with you and talk with you and look with you how the things are being done. Maybe some of you are thinking, what is my interest of sitting here? My only interest is I'm a member of the Belmer, I'm a member of this community, and I want this area being uplifted, our people being uplifted. I don't have any interest in money or whatever, or so I just want to state that somebody else has a.
Can I add something to? I think this is like we are having now a community, or I can say a family meeting. So now the question now is, I want to say that like the Akasanoma, I know that they have been in the system, I can say, for years, and they've been run or supported by the government. So if they can maybe explain or tell us their experience of how they are able to sustain, then other people can learn from it. That is point one, that I want them to enlighten the house.
We can do separate sessions for this,
Yeah, the second thing is that
Running away.
no, it's not. They are not. The partner. He is here. He is here. We know them. We know them. We know the business. So the second thing is that we, as an organization, also that for years, you know NUC, and you were part of it. You come to house meeting in IMA, and sometimes But what we are saying is that since that time, I'm just adding to what he said, which is an experience that we have, is that we've made proposals upon proposals for a place for African Cultural Center that we officially call Roots House, where we have comprehensive program. It's not about Africans from the continent alone, but also from the diaspora, because our organization is a Pan-African organization that encompasses all black people.
Yeah.
So, and since then, nothing. We know that.
What is the reason?
The reasons is that, I don't know. I cannot say yes, I cannot say no. I don't want to know, because there's no need for that. What is important is that if for now, that you said the law or some things have been changed or bring down or whatever, because there was a time that there's no need to even go back to the community, and when they say, okay, you can take this, you can do this.
Yeah.
But for now, we are on a process of, we've met with some of the councillors in Southwest and the rest, and we've been on the process of saying, okay, we don't even need too much building. Even if it is a container, because if you remember, I don't know if you remember the Frauen Empowerment Center under the metro.
Yes.
Something like that, we don't mind.
Yeah.
Because we are not high class. You understand? Whereby, if we have that as an organization, other associations can benefit from it. There are some associations here that come here and do their meeting for free.
Yeah.
Something like that, if there is an African Cultural Center, that everybody can come for free without no hassle. So even if they get 5,000, like you said, euro,
Okay.
it will be something better for them.
Can I react?
Yeah.
Short. I want to say two things. I think that we one of the things I said to my colleagues, organizations like yours are really important for the emancipation of the people, especially since your organization, you reach people I cannot reach and the city government cannot reach. So that fact only is really important for you to reach people, and that means we should invest in those organizations. The last 15 years, we saw a really neoliberal discourse in the Netherlands. The politics was looking a bit with distrust towards organizations, and now that is changing. We are investing, this local government is investing 6 million euros for the coming 3 years, especially for small organizations. And the second thing you said about a cultural center, I think we should think big. I was part of a process, I don't know if you have heard about that in the city, local city government, we were talking about a slavery museum.
Yeah.
And I said the slavery museum is good, important, But what is more important is especially the period before slavery, because our history didn't start with slavery. Our history, you know, all the West African,
Now with trading.
you know, yes. And many people, they don't know that. They think that the history of black people is only slavery. But while we have the Yoruba civilization, the Ashanti civilization, our people should know and learn more about it. So that slavery museum will focus in a huge way on the culture. And I think it will be good if you be part of the process for getting such a museum. So I'll really invite you to be part of that process. And I think that your idea of such a cultural center can be realized, maybe.
May I just a few things? I think there is really the opportunity for both. I really feel that the function, the community function, is another one than just the mere heritage.
Okay.
And I feel that with the third point that we'll get to later today, the We Make the City, we have an amazing momentum builder for this initiative.
Okay, why I come to stand is to just explain to people and to you, particularly on this African cultural center. It's going to be two things in one thing: culture and history.
And information.
And information, which is the most important one. But if you look at the agenda and the purpose, that means it's going to emancipate us.
Yes.
And if you look at the policy of the government, of the state, it's not about to emancipate you, me, and him. It's all about to just cosmetize. You know what happened to Lindsay?
Yeah.
We were part of the people that protested and do things years back, all those kind of things. So what we are saying is that we understand the idea, but the policy at the top is not for us to grow and be emancipated. So now, how do we go out of it?
Okay. I think that it's less worse than you think. I agree partly, but it's less worse because we partly decide what the policy is. We partly decided what the policy is, and the policy is made, as for example, in the sense of this museum, and they are calling everybody to join, to give input. And I only see Caribbean people and Surinamese people who are now in the process. But it's also important for you to come in the process because you have knowledge about, especially West African perspective, and that needs to be put in the museum. You know Lindsay. Lindsay has the assignment for the museum with other partners. I really think it's important for you to be part of that process now. But I understand what you say, but I don't totally agree.
Okay.
Yeah. Any questions?
I have one point about high radio.
Yeah.
You mentioned about people asking for subsidies. My impression is that they have done a lot. It's not that they haven't done anything.
Subsidy
and it doesn't come through. So maybe that's an interesting dynamic because you're pointing people to the opportunities to request subsidies.
Yeah.
And some people have done a lot. And I think that's an interesting dynamic to talk about.
Okay. Wat zeg jij? Je hebt al vaker.
Ja, laat ik zeggen, wij doen heel veel activiteiten.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we do a lot of activities, but not subsidy based. So mostly you can do what you can do 100%. But I think with what we have done, that's good. It's being part of the process with that. Like, sometimes you apply for something and you get an okay, and then it comes like the date of the event, then like it's not really relevant. Or like yes, like see like several times like maybe apply for money, or we even put out our plan, and then before we know someone else is doing it. but then they tell us that no, the plan wasn't good.
So you have bad experiences.
Yeah.
Oh.
With like applying and even coming to the meetings and stuff, being invited. Yeah, then you get the news that there is another organization who also applied for it, but the month before it was like, yeah, you can do it. Like, things like that.
So your plan will be taken off from you.
Yeah.
I think we should do it another way. We should do it when things are being changed now, and you have the subsidy from the government, and you also have the subsidy from goes to funding. And my experience, if I'm honest, is that those particular fundings are a bit better than the subsidies from the
Yeah,
government.
we haven't tried that yet, but what we do now is that, for example, if I know that there's this successful hair shop or any other shop or organization that we go to them, we go to them and then just give us the plan, give them the plan. This is what we want to do. Do you want to help? Do you want to sponsor? And then that way you can get sometimes the tools to do the stuff we need.
So, verschillende ervaringen. Mike. Wat is Mike?
Mike,
Mr. Mikey.
Mike.
Ja.
Je hebt verteld dat er iemand die kon vonden om mensen te begeleiden. Misschien kan je daar iets over vertellen?
Yeah. What I find, including ourselves, is that the process is quite arduous. You have to organize a project, you have to organize information, all that can be done. But most people, they're very good at their core activities, like cooking for the elderly, or those kind of things. All the extra stuff, like financial handling, the request, is quite a task sometimes. Then again, there's people that are really good at that. What we're trying to do here is to build a support system for people who want subsidies, that they can be helped. I know there is organizations like Venzo and Pozo that do the same, but the barrier is quite high. You have to make an appointment a week in advance. They don't really go along with the project. They don't do the reporting. And what we're going to try to do here is to really have dedicated people from within the community that want to help you write the proposals. And also, if you want so, to tag along with the project so that also the reporting afterwards can really be done and helpful. And so this person, she couldn't be here today, unfortunately, but she lives in the next neighborhood down there. See her. So she will be joining us. There's one other person that's also going to join us. And so they'll be just sitting here in our office. And you can walk in and you ask for support in writing the projects. Obviously, if you want to do it yourself, better. But we hope that this way we can get things along better.
I have one important thing before I forget. Hoe ga ik naar die pagina die net had?
Ja.
What we can do, all kind of organization will get the task from the government to support you. They organize meetings, information sessions, etc., etc. The first one is the 15th of February, and then you see in March and in April they also have information sessions. And if you want, we can go to those sessions for them to know you and for you to take up your right.
You know, it's a friendly thing, not a strict thing. So we are saying that if we have a proposal that we must have a place, not we should have, we must have a place for people of African descent, that it is their focus, that this is like a museum. This is a house that houses our culture, that has our culture, produces our culture and tradition, and talks about our emancipation, information, whereby you have film shows, you have lectures, you have everything about African history, about African culture, not only about slavery. That we have that. That is what we are talking about. Purely nothing more, nothing less. If the government cannot do it, then we can do our own source and say this. So if you, from the thing, from the community, from the council, you can know now what a first-hand experience of what is going on with the Kwaku Podium. It is a government building and it's empty and it's not running good. It was once before Afro-Suriname's cultural center. So it can still be at the same time an African cultural center for black
The
people.
problem with that one, I don't want to cut you, is like, it's already written that it's Afro, what you said. So
Yeah.
I think they want to keep it that way.
I know African Roots movement has existed for many years.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if all these years you don't know that in this country there is difference between the foundation and then the Vereniging. When you talk about Vereniging, which is an association, it's supposed to have membership. So anything you do, your members should contribute the money and do it. You cannot use a Vereniging to go and ask for subsidy.
That is one.
So a project of the type you are talking about, a whole center, I don't know how African Roots movement can position itself
The only thing is, as
to
individuals living,
be able to
that's the,
be the force behind.
Individuals.
yeah, as individuals living in Southeast, that's the only like one you can apply.
Okay.
And there's always African cultural everywhere in the Netherlands, but sometimes there's no Africans there, there's only white people.
Yeah, but why can't you exist as a stick thing? Why? What stops you?
I will tell you our own experience or whatever, which you know already. That the story is too long. Now, as a foundation, as a for anything, if you say that we cannot ask for subsidy,
Because the members are supposed to fund the.
well, that is not the basis.
Sorry?
That's not the basis. For anything can ask for subsidy. If you have a program, you can submit your project and do this and do that.
You have a limit.
It can be a limit.
Listen, activity is different. We're talking about project. We are talking project is different from activity.
Daddy, we don't know. We have to tell
I'm
you.
saying that.
That
You
there's-
say a project, if you are talking about a community center, that could be a project. But activity, small activity, 2,000, 5,000, that you can do with the association. But you are talking about a whole community center and you want to use association to do it, and government should come and work with you to do it. Is that not what the proposal I just spoke about?
but I will tell you that the time that we wanted to have,
Yes.
or that we are doing this police meeting, we
Yes.
started it. We are doing the police meeting, and then we asked for purely that we want a place whereby we have the nail point for people of African descent. It was accepted. So how
And Melbourne, in the name of African Roots movement, they can only assign you a building that is existing and operate on that, but not to build a whole
And
structure.
Maybe
It's-
that's
it's-
going to be
it's-
great
it's
5
still-
years.
it's still the same thing that we are talking about. It's still the same thing that
Well,
a building.
They are different.
Maybe we have to explain it better, because one thing is that, you know, there are legal implications. If you are asking for a subsidy of tens of thousands of euros, yeah, I'm a Ghanaian. Yes. And you ask that, you know, as an association from the government, then it will be difficult, because if you default, who are they going to hold responsible? Even the executive council, the members voted, and we have 100 members, and so who are you going to hold responsible? But with foundation, the executive are legally liable for anything that goes wrong. and you have executive of about 3, 4. And so, if anything goes wrong, you are legally liable, and so they can hold you responsible, they can come to your house or whatever. But association, 100 members, who are you going to take the money from?
But in
Or
your,
somebody
but
sign
in our
for it.
reality, this may be an aspect that's not that relevant, because the way I have got to know the Grassroots movement is that they really want an African cultural heritage center to be built. That means not that they need to be running it per se. They are the movement to make it happen.
Well, fine.
And how you then structure that,
You can
that's
talk
different
about
matter.
it.
Well, okay.
You want the government to build a
Not to
Not to build it. We're not talking of
Yeah,
building.
there are a lot of
There are a lot
Nothing
of
is happening.
places that nothing is
And
happening.
then
I just
present your case more properly, because
Okay,
the issue is different from if you're asking for an existing place to use for your.
That's what I just said just now.
But
But that
it
is
looks
what
as
he
if,
just said.
that is just
Yeah.
what I just said. In the beginning, I even
no,
made mention
when
that.
you ask the question of, what do you call it, Kwaku,
Podium.
and you never said, the young lady there said, even when activities are going on in the building, somebody else owns the place. So a place that they sell or somebody else, and there's no way government will tell the person to create time for you at no cost. So it could be a building that is lying there, possibly. There's no building that is lying there without somebody owning it or somebody behind it.
That's where you are here now.
Yes, so I don't know how easily government will say, oh, this building is not in you. Even offices that are vacated, the next moment they turn it into hotel.
But I think the bigger thing is the concept of a space where everything of African people
Because
come
he
together.
knows we have agitated for community center even for this community for years, and
And why didn't they?
nobody is listening.
You see,
But
this, and I
they-
think
So
this-
I don't know if
Okay.
this is something
This is
new
the bigger
we'll talk
problem.
about.
Yeah,
It's done for
well,
years.
we-
Agitation
yes,
has been all
we've
over.
gone through it for so many.
So many.
At one point, they said, algemeen voorziening.
Yeah,
Geen, they have.
for a particular
Geen
ethnic group.
verzuiling.
Mm.
Algemeen voorziening. And we said that, look, that's why the build centers are not being patronized. Because they don't fit our taste. You go to the build center and you see only white people there because it's stamp cafe.
It's just change.
Wow, okay, maybe,
It's
okay,
just change.
okay, then, well, maybe now. So was it, and we even agitated for, themes, the build centers, themes for build centers, like maybe Kraaiennest Build Center as a African theme, not for Africans, but African theme. So activities there will be more focused on African cultural issues, Bonte Kraai, well, another build center maybe for Afro-Caribbean, and Vikash was there for the Hindustans. I mean, that sort of thing. You see, so that, I mean, if I'm Ghanaian, if there's some salsa or whatever at the Afro Suriname Build Center, and I'm interested, I'll go. You see, and if there are Surinamers who are interested in some African cultural activity, they will also go. But I mean, just to make, the focus on these, spaces to make them attractive, relevant and attractive.
Empowerment.
Yes, but they said, nee, algemeen voorziening. And yeah, it doesn't serve any purpose for anybody.
You wanted to say something?
I think I will add something to this, because if we're talking about an African heritage or cultural center, it's more than just a building. If we look at cultural or heritage centers anywhere in the world, they're all purpose built. It's very difficult to just take an existing building in an industrial and say you want to turn it into a heritage center. It doesn't work. If you're going for a heritage center, it has to be purpose built.
It has to be.
Purpose built.
Purpose built.
Yeah.
Yes.
Specifically
That,
for.
what he meant is the physical structure has to
But he just
indicate.
said you can't take existing, you can always modify a structure.
You can
So
do-
that
you
one
can,
is possible.
you
So
can,
I
but-
don't know
but then-
whether
And I
Yeah,
think
you
it
can build
will not be
anyway.
possible except we do it ourselves.
Because the thing is,
Yeah, but doing it yourself, you can only agitate. But if you are not able to really make impact with your agitation, you can agitate forever.
Before 2018, you could buy Quack portfolio, right? For 100,000.
Even they want to break it down.
It's not a lot of money, 100,000 euro, but nobody bought it. I want to go to the example idea, but you put it away a bit.
No, I didn't put it away. I
But-
only tell you that that
Yeah.
concept is there,
Yeah.
but this is another concept.
But the reason why me and my colleague proposed such a museum was precisely because of this.
Okay.
Precisely. Maybe the name museum is not a good word. Let's call it the National Center for African Dutch Heritage, which partly focuses on slavery, but especially must it focus on heritage and culture for the African diaspora in the Netherlands. And that means Afro-Caribbean, but also people from the continent.
Afro-Africans.
Yes, yes. And the museum we are gonna build within 4 years, it has that 1/3 of the museum has to go about this subject. And I really, okay, I say next to your initiative, just be part of this initiative.
Of course, we are not.
Both.
Of course, we are going to be. We accept
Yes.
what about the
We,
museum
I
and the
invite,
rest,
I invite
which
you
we are
because-
going to be part
yeah,
of. That
okay.
one is 100%.
Okay.
But we are saying now
Yeah.
that the concept that has been there
Mhm.
for years, if it is time now to launch it, even if it is just to sell the idea, it is now
Yeah.
that we want it. That's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Even if it starts from a small place, a container place, from container it can be a building, from a building it can be a mansion, you never know. So that's what we are saying. We are not saying about whether the museum, the slave museum is okay. It's
Yeah.
not. It's something that we welcome and
Yeah.
we accept.
Because
It can go concurrent. It's not a
Yes.
problem.
both. Okay, I don't think it's impossible, but from the 1 year to another year to becoming the building,
Mm.
that will be difficult. But if you begin small,
Small, yeah.
yeah, it
That's
can
what
be.
we say.
It can be.
You start with community services.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it can be. And I think Mike is really one of the person who's really
We've met with a lot of the
Yeah.
so-called.
just come
Anti-Western,
to
yeah.
every meeting about the ontwikkelbuurt and
Mhm.
democratization. Just be part of the process of the system, so everybody knows your face. Just intervene.
They don't need to even
And that
ask
may
for our
be a
face.
nice
They
bridge.
know our face.
That may be a nice bridge for research. That
Ontwikkelbuurt.
may be a nice bridge to research.
Yeah.
Face the law.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it possible to do it with the African decent, because you said you can do 25,000
Maximum.
maximum?
Mhm.
Is it possible from that?
Yeah.
We go to Sudan, I take one container, put it in a location.
I don't know, but
Get 25,000, do something.
I don't know myself what the criteria are, but I think
Maybe.
that this can be one of the proposals. Can be.
Yeah, I think this meeting is just an understanding.
Yeah.
Then we can go further to the next level. Anybody that have more things to bring, like Akasanuma now, I think many of other organizations or foundations can meet up with them and have the experience on how to write all these projects and the rest. And then with the Okan and then the
Yeah.
heritage and the
We're gonna ask them to
museum,
come here.
it's better for them to come here.
Yeah.
We continue like that. We keep the momentum
Yeah.
instead of after this meeting, then everybody go, and then I think it's better. Probably
you
now
know-
we can even keep this meeting in a monthly or updating way, whereby we can take our numbers now,
Yeah.
go round, we can make a contact and say, okay, have fun for the Kbuurt, whatever, Pan-African gathering or
Yeah.
meeting, then we can update and then continue. I think it's good. It's a good idea that we continue to do it, because if we don't put pressure, like he said, if we don't.
And can I put in the momentum builder, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Because I think we have a great opportunity also to take this forward as a momentum builder. In a festival that's coming this summer to the whole city. And it's about how do we make a city. But the theme this year is not just how to make a city, it's how to make a city for all of us. So that means especially people who too often have not been part of city making. And I think, for example, something like the discussion that was going on the African Cultural Heritage Center, it's a perfect time to work towards that and to have a plan there, or to make that an issue of your community, that will be one of the key issues in that time. Now, I don't know who of you knows a little bit about WeMakeTheCity. There was an event last year, and there's a little website just over here. It shows some key pictures. It attracts about 5,000 people to Amsterdam, which is a huge amount. 50,000 or 8,000 for last year. Normally these kind of events are always held in the city center, and they talk about all the issues that are important to a city, like gentrification, like poverty, like how do you build buildings, like what kind of cuisine there needs to be. But all these people, they're talking about poverty. So what we've said, if you really want to make a city, you have to change the dynamic of such a conference. You have to make sure the conference comes to Kraaiennest, and we hold a conference here. Now already they had planned, of course, already in the city center before everyone. But what we are doing now, it is actually from an old time when we demonstrated for the square. Oh, we can put it up here. What you see here is the area next to the metro station, which is still unbuilt. That we think offers a perfect location for a temporary conference center. Think of a pavilion, think of a huge circus tent for a whole week. Let part of all the things that are happening in the conference happen here in the neighborhood. Let the people of our neighborhood benefit from this conference. In jobs, in youngsters that become stewards, in the pastries that have to be made, but also when there is a program about poverty, let them come through the flat. Margaret, who just walked out here, why does she not get paid as an experienced person on poverty? And so we want to create a dynamic where the neighborhood benefits. But on another level also on a level that normally people like us are not part of these discussions. The topics they discuss don't really concern. They may be at a very high level, but they're really far away. Whereas something like a African Cultural Heritage Center is a perfect topic of discussion to be held here. And so there will be many other topics that will be very much on your agenda. On my agenda personally is, for example, items, events that make this neighborhood talk. We have the new plus flat Kbuurt. We have the people in the social housings. There is a real need, I feel, for the neighborhoods to talk more to each other before we get a culture wars here in the neighborhood. So those kind of programs we can have. And so Angelique is the big coordinator here for the WeMakeTheCity. And Angelique, maybe you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd like to invite you all to come to me and maybe we can sit together if you have any ideas about activities we can do to show the city how we live here, how we think about things that can be better. It's about poverty, it's about anything. I would like to meet up with you and to discuss things we can do together to make it a better place here. And to show the city how we think we can make it better.
How can we make sure that the money stays here
Yes.
in our community,
Sure.
in the Kraaiennest, in the African
That's
community? I think that's an interesting subject.
For the topics of the whole conference, they have these bubbles, and these bubbles, they bubble a bit on and on. There are all sorts of topics from water to climate change. But what we have said is, we want 4 bubbles here in Kraaiennest. That's about poverty, the enormous separation in society, unfairness and loneliness. The whole topic of super diversity and inclusivity, safety, and gentrification and the development of areas. Those 4 topics are we now really trying all of the items to come here to Kraaiennest. And my thinking is now, how can we make sure we do benefit? And I've already asked a few people to start thinking about it. So I would very much like to also, because it maybe helps you get more ideas, we're open for ideas, what kind of projects we'll push in here, what kind of role you can have here, what the youngsters can have for a role. So I'd like to go a little around across the room. If people already have sparks of ideas or have something developed, like, hey, this is something we should go for. But before I do that, are there any questions to what I've said? Or remarks? Is it good? Is it bad?
I think you should get different organizations together for the idea.
Different organization.
Yes. Then it will help very fast.
Okay, but we're doing this with the organization that's doing the whole festival.
Yes.
So they are the carrier organization. Yeah. Yeah.
You said something interesting about if the festival is coming here in Kraaiennest. How can you make sure that people who bake pastry or whatever, that they can be part of selling their products?
Yes.
How are you going to do that?
To me, it doesn't seem so difficult.
Okay.
Because every time there is a choice, it has to be recorded somewhere.
Okay. You will fix that.
Huh?
You will fix that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't think there's a particular vehicle, because there's so much in the neighborhood that can do that, and it's also part of doing the things that people really like. So it's not just talking about esoteric things, high, elevated. We should also just have a party. We should have great music. We should, it's also for the neighborhood to come together.
Johnson, I wanted to respond to what you asked, that we have a separate organization. But I can say that there is also already Act for the Kbuurt is the foundation already that is pushing this forward. So there can be contact or whatever. One can just, like Niger Radio, Niger TV, link up and everything. At least here, it's like a launching pad. This very place, yeah, it's like a launching pad. So that's what I want to say, that. So it's already existing, so that we know that, okay, here, one can do things from here, like some other foundations come here to do their meetings and the rest. And then that's why the network was a little bit.
To get their name as more.
Yes, exactly.
Will you allow me to go around the room and ask questions? Yeah?
Yes.
Maybe for your organization or for others, what opportunity does this offer in terms of visibility or doing another program on another level? Is there anything that comes to your mind? I'm referring to a week long of city making festival in Kraaiennest. Specifically in Kraaiennest, because it's always otherwise the faraway white people somewhere in the center of town that talk about us and not with us.
When I hear this, it's meant for people within the country.
It can be, yes.
Because some of us are not even in Southeast. I don't live in even Southeast.
Yeah.
So I don't know how relevant it is to me.
Maybe for your organization?
Well, we are not in the Kbuurt. We are, now our office is in Hollywood.
Well, the program I attended is very relevant.
I know, we take our program round. We
Yeah.
change venues to actually host our program.
So would you like any
We used to be in Kraaiennest years back until the garage. We were our office was there, so we were in the Kbuurt.
Yeah.
But now, by virtue of moving around, yes, we are no more in the Kbuurt.
No, but it's not only for the Kbuurt, eh? It's maybe also for whole Southeast, not only for the Kbuurt.
Yeah, okay. Well, I heard the name Hart for the Kbuurt, so I don't know if it's not about that.
It's so big, we even want to do a national television show that one of the evenings. The big gentrification debate on national television. We really feel topics should get discussed at a higher level. And I know the work you do, that topic also needs to be more
What
discussed.
I will ask is that particular space.
Yeah.
Do you have the backing of the government to use it for whatever objective you set your mind on that red, space there?
Yeah.
Are you in tune with the
We're
policy
totally in
of the
tune.
government to
Yeah.
mark that place out for any possible project?
Yeah.
You've done that?
Yeah, I mean, it takes vergunningen, we're all in the process,
Yeah, but that's what you have to know.
but everybody is saying yes, that's going to happen. So let's make the program that we want in there.
Oh. Okay, well, it's a new
It's a
idea
new
for
thing,
me, so
so-
give me time to
Yeah,
also
absolutely.
brainstorm with myself, and
Of course.
probably I'll be
Yeah.
able to get.
Great. Okay. You,
The what?
you have any program in mind that can be particularly relevant
To
to do
the
that?
community, I think for now I have, but I cannot think now because I'm taking names. So maybe the next person can.
Sure, yeah.
Our organization, we're trying to think up something. We're gonna get back to you.
I know you have meetings about it at the moment,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Later. At the back.
Yeah.
No, wait.
No, I can't think of anything now.
Okay.
I can't think of anything now. But anything next time when we meet,
We'll come back to you.
we'll get back to you.
I know.
This is specifically for the WeMakeTheCity program.
We're in the run-up towards it, but it gives an extra opportunity to create visibility for topics, people, excitement, activities.
Yeah, I think we should, our association, for example, it exists to promote Yoruba culture, which is from like West Africa. And I think we could definitely come with something that showcases Yoruba culture as part of that.
Okay, great.
That festival.
Yeah.
But we'll have to discuss it during that.
Absolutely.
meeting. But that's something we can,
Okay.
that's something we would like to contribute.
Okay. Together?
For me, I just come to listening.
Yeah.
Before in the past, I used to belong to an organization here in Amsterdam, South Coast, yeah. And every time we are moving from place to place, no particular place we normally have a meeting. We contribute money by ourselves to finance the organization. After some time when I was very, very busy with my family, so I pulled out. So up to today, that organization, they are still moving around. They don't have a place. So I'm thinking of this very place to manage right now. that if there's a place study that's available, then I can as well go back to the organization and I inform them and say, look, moving from one place to another, it doesn't help us. It makes people to lose hope. So I will talk about that. So for the first time, I just want to come and listen to this.
This will be built in 5-6 years completely, and as a neighborhood we have now been granted by this new city government that we can develop the plans ourselves. So let's talk about that also, yeah? It's different from a summer event that we, while it's empty, we want to make use of the land. Yeah? At the back.
I think I was not here earlier, but I think your idea is a laudable idea. Something you're giving back to the community. Interesting. But my question is, how do you know that this is going to be indigenous? It's going to stay in the community? Because from history, if you look at the arena, it was built thinking people would work there, you know, generate themselves over there, but it never worked like that. You see people driving all the way from Alakma and they come here to work. So it has never helped the community. So my question is,
it's the same what Simion said.
Yeah, how do you know that a single person who wants to bake the pie, like you said, is going to benefit from that? Because and one thing also, what is the capacity? Because sorry to say, but immigrants over here, we are a lot. You know, if you give us a capacity of 200, we can't fit in there. So those are the questions. You know, if you have the right figures, I think it's a laudable idea. But then, you understand what I'm saying?
I totally understand what you're saying.
Kwaku, I know was before from the indigenous people. Now it's taken over. You know, when you go there, you don't see anything but foreign. So these are the things. You know, what makes it look like it would stay. Well organized. Am I right?
Any program ideas on your side?
I don't have any program, actually, but there's thousands and millions of programs. The first thing to do is, if all the organizations should come together so they can listen to them. Because if I go as an organization to build up something, definitely they will listen to me, they will listen to you, but at the end,
it should be collective, right?
So, but if different organizations come together and strong, I think their voice will be heard. Otherwise, the same story will keep on generating.
It's going to be a
so that is going to be the problem. I belong to an organization, and I also pay my tax. I have a company.
You have a stick to
I don't have system. I have a company. I'm a street journalist for 35 years. I film, I pay my tax because I register that company because I don't want to belong to any organization that doesn't pay tax.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wat vind jij met high radio of zonder high radio?
For now, we have to think about what we could do as like programming, but something standard we would love to do is like to create content, do the media coverage.
Would you like to be the radio station for the whole thing?
Yeah, we have to think about it.
I support it, especially what you said about the gentrification part, because I think that the people in Southeast and Balmer, they deserve to benefit from the positive economic development, and their children, our children, also have the right to stay in this neighborhood, and not only people who have a lot of money. So we have to think about how we can make sure that in the future the houses are affordable for general people. Gentrification, so I think it's interesting to talk about it, and I also think it's interesting about what the gentleman said about the Yoruba culture. WeMakeTheCity is really about city subjects, and I think it's interesting to talk about how London, where other West African people live, West African people do it better in London or in Atlanta. When you compare it to Amsterdam, what are the mechanisms?
Yeah.
Is it racism? Is it our school system? Is it our whatever? I want to talk about it.
I think I can answer a little bit for that. In those parts of the world, they are together.
Okay.
And they donate money to build school themselves.
Okay.
And the government see,
They have
like,
an
wow.
They have an African heritage.
So let's talk about it. Maybe we can.
They build school for themselves.
Maybe that can be a start.
It is the government there
No,
that give them
no,
the opportunity to do that.
No, you said the but the opportunity.
But they are together, they save money, they donate money, they have a lot of people, doctors, lawyers, among of them, and they want the root, African root, not to be.
What makes people
Like
to
that,
be
you're right.
doctors lawyer here?
That's what
That is
happened
you
there.
have to ask.
No, but you're
Why
saying the
don't
same
you
thing.
have a definite profession here? What prevents you from getting?
I think that it can happen here because in this country then,
What an excellent
but
point.
it happens in other places.
No, excuse me.
Because we are not together.
Shola doesn't
No, no, no,
understand
no, no.
your thing. We are not together. If we are together, we can.
We are not together.
The Moroccans, sorry to use the word, Moroccans, they have their own, they do their own. They
India,
do it themselves.
India, Suriname, they are together.
They do their
Look at
own
what they
thing.
have built in the Burma.
Don't-
India, Suriname.
Is it
That is
okay
an
for me to
example.
continue this
Take the
in
project there and tell them you
discussion?
want to build it. Put the money there. They'll build it for you.
Something will happen.
I think
Yeah. I feel the energy here. Really good.
I think it's your Nancy, it's your
Yeah.
No.
And
Shola?
I want to be greater than you. That is the problem.
Yes. Challenge, competition.
Yes.
let's do it.
This organization is bigger. That one is
I
smaller.
want to be like that.
If you're coming next.
We come next.
I just want to address the point that Simion made. I think a big goal of this whole conference is not that the conference comes, we know more, the conference goes. This part of the Bijlmer has to be changed because of it. A transformative experience because the money that it leaves, the ideas that are imprinted in the people, the opportunities it brings. We're trying to get sponsors for this event. But we're trying also these sponsors to remain with us after the event. We're trying to get youth delegations from the sister cities. Hopefully, we can make a camping at the end of the Graz for all the youngsters from, like, say, 5 sister cities. But those links can keep with us beyond. So hopefully, it will be really a transformative experience. Yeah?
The struggle.
Next to you, Simion. Sorry, sir. Any ideas? No?
No idea.
No.
Okay. Should I be the next person?
The 2 ladies here first, please.
Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. I know.
I don't really have what to say because I actually came late. But a little about the information together today. I think we'll go back home.
Yeah.
We'll reflect over them.
Yeah.
Then if there is an opportunity to be here the next time, then we'll be able to know
Yeah.
much.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to have regular meetings about this now on this topic anyway. Yeah. Then, do you have any ideas for WeMakeTheCity? Not yet? You? Yes.
I have an overdose of
Yes.
You want to hear your ideas, but easy
I
without.
even have an overdose.
Overdose.
Yes. But I don't want them to tap into our knowledge and to manipulate our knowledge. As I used to tell you,
I know.
we hear this thing
Many
some
times.
of us are almost 30 years in the farmer. We have a lot of academic debates, meetings, etc., etc. They build a lot of structures in our present. We contributed towards ideas, just the way you have it on the, let's say, rudimentary level of the commissioning.
Yeah.
Thereafter, we build it by socialism in the intent of the privatization.
And then commercialization takes it over.
Everything is kaput. You cannot
Yeah.
even enter there again.
Yeah.
I gave no limit attacks as an example. This kind of thing was organized. House, we were called to give ideas.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They started, we only did 2 meetings there. Thereafter, we are not allowed in any number.
No, we have to pay.
So, it's happening, it will happen, and it will keep on happening.
And it's the
Because
same
there's-
thing.
there's a program.
It's the same thing with the youth center, and you address that very well. So right now our brains are wired. How do we make sure The same thing doesn't happen to that. That once it commercializes, it's not for the neighborhood anymore, and essentially the whole thing goes.
So before we contribute our brains for them to make it, for me, I have a litany of ideas. Library that is typically attractive to Africans.
Yeah.
It's okay, like a friend of mine brought one company to Nigeria. The way they built the company here is very attractive.
Yeah.
But when they get to Nigeria, the architect told them, this is a European standard. If there's no light in Nigeria, you have to open the window. So you have to make provision of windows here. Because we don't have light 24 hours here. So you have to customize it according to our own system.
Yeah.
So now, if we are here, you want to give us a project, like a library. A library in our own context has a different perspective. It has a different foundation. So we have to do it in our own way. What kind of books is relevant to our knowledge? What do we want to read?
Yeah.
In what way do you want to sit down? Yeah, it will be a serene environment, of course, not a noisy environment. They want to do it in our own way. We want to see our own type of books that is relevant to what we want to learn about and what we want to take action. If you want us to bring all these ideas, we bring it. But if they collect our ideas, put down the edifice, and at the end of the day, they cannot even enter the place again. So we have to prevent that conference.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Tony, any idea? I'll be back to you separately later. Do you have anything that you would like to have done in this event?
Well, it's new to me, so I don't know actually what the format is. So, at this moment, I don't think I can have any meaningful contribution.
So what do you think?
We'll come back to you later.
It's here that we
Last year there was a passion in Southeast. The passion was
Sometimes
a
we
big thing.
use this place, sometimes we use
We
that.
see this as the same kind of level as the passion last year in terms of what it
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big thing.
What happened?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
can I give you the word, the floor back?
Yeah.
Because I want to thank you for all the input. Unless you want to say any comments on this, and what you've heard.
If you want to think about it, I can imagine if you want to have more time to think about the ideas you want to have. But I think we have nice things. The last thing the person said about the library, I think.
Yeah, library. Where is it?
Yeah, shall I?
Shall I say it like
Things like that, I think it's really.
Yeah,
You were just being commented. You were co-commented.
The library.
Yeah.
Very good idea.
It's a very good idea.
And what are you talking in there? Are you talking African intelligence or you're talking the Dutch? Because they have a library in
That's what he
the
said.
No, if you don't make it strong,
It will be a divergence from the Orthodox.
our need.
Exactly.
It will be a divergence from the Orthodox library we have here.
It's a good
You know,
idea.
it
But
has
we
to
have-
be
we have
like
to
if you go
discuss about
to
they
if you
don't
go to
take
a
it
church
over.
library now, you're gonna see only religious books there, majorly. But you can also see some other ones. But that one will be in the fractional percentage. So this time around, when it is African library, when you enter the library, you know basically you are coming there to read and study and research about Africa. So predominantly you have nothing less than 95% African-based knowledge book there. So that is what we say this is African library.
Maybe that's the basic working at.
Yeah, that is the
I
basic.
think there's a similar thing in the Netherlands. It's African village. That's African village.
How many
In
Africans
a-
are there?
No, Africa doesn't have to go there. They don't want to there. They want foreigners, other people to come there. They want money.
Of what use is it to us?
They want money, but now if you make it strong, like the library, make it strong with different organizations coming together and make it strong, it can be possible. But if you go alone and you go alone, that go alone,
Even there are some African,
they will give you your
you know, here because of the code. Because of code. For instance, because of code, you know, here we have a lot of indoor games that we do in Africa also. We don't do every sport outside. There are some indoor games. If we can also have a place for African indoor games.
Yeah, and you are not more.
Yeah, everything is there that we can practice indoor here.
So that everything is possible based on the fact that you are together to face it. But when you're not together,
it won't work.
We have to unite.
Many people have the same ideas and everything.
No, look, we are here now. Look, we are here
just
now.
Discuss it and after,
Okay, we are here now.
finished.
Okay, look at us now. We are making a voice, a very strong voice now, and we have a program before us here, and we have to make a suggestion. Coming together is not a day job, and everybody knows why. We are not together here. Because your primary objective here, number one, is to get your house rent paid, is to feed yourself.
Then nothing will work then. If we are thinking of that alone, then nothing will work.
I like that.
Nothing will work then. If I'm thinking of my house rent, we're not thinking of how to move forward. Nothing will work.
Brothers and sisters, I think we've had a good day. I just remember because fathers and mothers, because I just remember something that she can add, because in our meeting also we discussed about this, about we make the city, and one of the things that you can quickly put is food cuisines, whereby the African different tribes food.
Tribes?
Yeah, in Africa, ethnic groups, where they can cook Fanti, Ashanti, Akan, Mandingo, Wolof, Yoruba, Igbo, Swahili. Then you, at least, if there are tables from here to there, and you can taste.
Only Ghanaian jollof will be there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Already the 5,000.
Nigeria Padelian will be there.
No, Nigeria don't play there now.
No. Ghana don't claim her. Then we bring Padelian.
So fathers, brothers and sisters, and Simion, we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And we want to say you are all welcome. We've taken your name and your telephone number. And before we go, we can have a informal interaction, whereby people who came late, you can still go to him and get some more information. But after this, we will still have to meet again, and then so that we can be able to revitalize what we have just discussed and take over. So we thank you all.
And we have a little present for Simion.
Yeah.
For being here and doing this.
Yes. So thank you all. We can do formal and informal interaction, and then we can go. Thank you all.
No, man, brother.
No, he started.
In America, the black community, when they see that things is some doctors,
every morning.
They buy land, they build the school, they build their library. You can see it on YouTube. Everything is there. Yes, even common, I use a sample of Indian Suriname. Indians, common Indians, you can buy building. They cannot buy building. You can't break in them. It's not possible. And for you to go and marry them, then you are suffering. For you to go inside and marry them, you will suffer. You must know people because people get dumb because their parents say no.
Hello, on the phone. Who has this telephone? Kwaku, is this not your phone? Oh, it's not phone. It's a pad. I think it's for it. Now here with the lead.
I'm a human being. Don't buy my life. Trust. Am I CIA?
One can be leading.